All right. Hey, how are you this morning? It is June 25th. My name is Tad Krutka. I'm with the Serendipity Project, and I am going to talk to you today about stress and anxiety, what it is, what it does to us, and how we can try to mitigate it from our lives. It's not always easy to get that out of our lives. Don't mind me, just need to adjust the camera a little bit here. It's not always easy to mitigate it from our lives, but once you know the havoc it can create, and then you understand some of the basic techniques to get rid of it, you can actually eliminate stress and anxiety from your life without medication. Yes, without medication. You do not need to medicate for stress and anxiety, because stress and anxiety is caused by your perception of the world around you. Okay? So it is a controllable perception of the world around you. I hope that makes sense. So let's talk first a little bit about what causes stress and why stress is so bad for us as human beings. So stress generally is caused by the primal instinct to either fight or flight. So it was basically a survival technique that was in the human genome in order for us to be able to run away from wild animals and people or things that want to hurt us. Right, so back in the caveman days, it was very useful because it would cause us to, give us a boost of energy and adrenaline, and we would be able to run away or fight the thing that is causing us the stress. The problem nowadays is that we live in a relatively safe society where running away from lions and tigers isn't necessarily a need anymore, and bad people are generally taken care of by the police, so there's not a huge threat to our safety every day like there might have been back a couple thousand years ago. So with that being said, we have a very large brain, prefrontal cortex, right, that allows us to think, right, and not only think, but we can also actually induce the stress response simply by thinking about things that either have happened or may happen in the future and turn on that stress response. So the problem with this is that stress response, being under stress for a long period of time doesn't do good things for our mind and our body, and actually can potentially cause disease later on in life, because our body's not used to, or can't endure being under that stress, those chemicals of stress, for such a long period of time. And also, stress can cause us to do things that we wouldn't normally do, or wouldn't consider doing, like taking drugs and alcohol, for example. Stress, will cause us to want to use those things to alter our state, so that way we can get out of stress. So unless we know how to get out of stress and anxiety, we'll turn to other methods to help relieve some of that stress and anxiety that we're feeling. Now, what's really interesting about stress and anxiety that I thought was that stress and anxiety can come from imagined thoughts. So thoughts that haven't happened, or there's no basis in the real world. You can actually think yourself into an anxiety attack or or a stressful moment. What's also interesting too is that so say you have a traumatic experience and in your life, and say it was like 20 years ago, but in your mind, you relive that moment over and over and over again. And every time you relive that moment, you are creating that stress response over and over again. So your body enters like a loop where stress and anxiety becomes part of your natural state of being. And again, when that happens, you just keep exposing your body to those chemicals, those stress response chemicals, really unnecessarily, right? So the challenge then becomes, how do you break the loop that you're in? Because most of us are especially by the time we're in our mid-30s, we have a pretty solid standard set of routines that our body becomes very, very used to. And if we try to just change it without the correct support and the correct techniques, you're gonna really fight a losing battle, because your body is going to win in that case. I was watching a video. I'll link to it in the description. I forget the name of the doctor, but he was talking about how basically your body becomes, thinks it becomes the mind, and when it does that, it becomes such a strong force to be reckoned with. It's like dealing with a computer program. It's just programmed to do certain things, and it will continue to do those things until you can change the program somehow. And just will alone sometimes isn't enough to change the program. It's got to be, you got to want to change it, but you also have to have a technique or a way to change the subconscious mind or the body, because the subconscious mind is incredibly strong. It is very resistant to change unless you know how to change it. So you really got to dig into the technique to change it, so that way you can release your mind from anxiety and stress. So here's a good example of stress, thought-induced stress, right? So a lot of times this happens probably to everybody at some point in their life. Sometimes it happens every day for some people. But I woke up this morning. We had something happen in the plant on Friday, and I woke up this morning thinking about it and feeling stress and worry over it. And I realized, I caught myself. So I said, I'm letting myself be worried and stressed about something that, first of all, has already happened, and I'm concerned about the consequence of it today, but that's in the future. It's not happening right now, so I need to, so I'm letting it invade my present moment. I'm causing myself stress and anxiety really for no real reason. I'm not being chased by a lion or a tiger, and there's no real threat to my safety at the moment. Yes, it might be uncomfortable today, or I might have some things I got to work through, but there's no reason to let worry or stress or anxiety start to enter my now space, my now space, if you will. And so it's becoming aware of those moments when we start to go into those loops where stress and anxiety start to rise up. So how do we become aware? So the key is to become aware, right? So if we become aware of that, then we can catch ourselves and we can actually stop the loop from happening. And when you do that enough times, you'll actually enter a new loop where stress and anxiety aren't a daily part of your life. So it's really powerful stuff and really important, not only just for your day-to-day, peace of mind, but also because you want to protect your health. And stress is really the main cause of most disease. And I mean, when I say most disease, I'm talking about more than 90% of disease is directly related to stress. Stress can cause us to overeat. Stress can cause us to damage our bodies with drugs and alcohol. Stress and anxiety just create the chemicals. Cortisol enters our body, and it just prolonged exposure to that chemical can really have a detrimental effect on our health. So basically, it boils down to your thoughts can make you sick, and on the return of that is that your thoughts can make you well, right? So if you can shift your focus and your thinking then you can really, start to open up your mind to some new possibilities, and you get to live a more healthy and fulfilled life, because you're not spending all your time being stressed and worried about stuff that either has never happened, never will happen, or just plain crazy, to even think about it happening. So, so what is it? So become aware, right? Become aware of what causes you stress. When you start to feel stress, note it, and become aware of it. Now the other key to it is to shift your thinking, right? You have to shift your thinking away from the thing that's making you stressed out. So this morning was a great example. I caught myself thinking about something that had happened on Friday in the past, right? And something that might have a consequence today, in my future. And I realized that I was needlessly worrying about something that I couldn't control at the exact moment. So once I became aware of that, I decided that I'm going to shift myself away from it and say, you know what, it's already happened. I'm not going to worry about it, and I'm going to embrace whatever I have to embrace at work today, and it's going to be fine. I'm going to be fine. I'm going to live, and I'm not going to let it rob me. That stuff rob me of my peace of mind. I'm just not going to let it happen. So again, you start to say that to yourself enough times, and you'll actually develop a new habit, a new routine. The other real very strong way to do this. There's basically meditation and or hypnosis, which is kind of the same thing. So a hypnotist can lead you through this. You can also do guided meditations on YouTube, or you can actually lead yourself through this. But basically what you want to do is just, you want to take a minute, probably about 10 to 15 minutes, go somewhere quiet where there's nobody around, where you can have some peace, you won't be disturbed, and the goal is to get you past your conscious mind and be able to talk directly to your subconscious mind. And that's where a hypnotist or a YouTube video with a guided meditation. Actually, I'll link in the description to Michael Seeley, who does really great guided meditation / self-hypnosis routines that are actually very good. There's one specifically on stress and anxiety that I'll link to in the description below. But it's really great stuff. So as you listen to it, he'll actually take you through, in the case of Michael Seeley, will actually take you through a guided meditation on how to eliminate stress and anxiety from your life. And basically look at the world from a different perspective. So basically what the hypnosis does is it puts to sleep your conscious mind, almost literally, so that way you can accept the suggestions right into your subconscious mind. So your subconscious mind will take that, and sometimes it takes a few sessions. I think a lot of the Michael Seeley stuff I'll listen to for a couple weeks every day, because that repetition will help your subconscious mind to accept the suggestions, if you will. And if you're new to hypnosis or meditation, especially with the self-hypnosis, know that the hypnotist or the guide cannot give you any kind of suggestion that you as a person that goes against your core beliefs or what you as a person can do. So there's no fear when it comes to that, or there shouldn't be. It's only there to help you to reprogram some of your old habits, so that way you can really change things fundamentally. And that's the only real way to create real change in your life is to change the subconscious programming. Through that change, you can create a very significant change in your inner world. So take a second and think about, what would it be like if you could eliminate stress and anxiety from your life? What could you do? What would your day-to-day be like? I know for me, stress and anxiety used to rule my life, and since I've been able to eliminate it and live most time, I would say 98% of my day I live in total peace with myself and what I'm doing. And yeah, there's those moments, but you catch yourself in those moments, and you put a stop to it once you become aware
of what causes you stress. You don't let things cause you stress. It's just not worth it, you know. Most of it's imaginary. Most of it's all in your head anyway. So there's no sense in letting it get to you. You know, it's what you imagine will probably never come to pass, and if it does, then you just deal with it. You know, that's just the way you got to do. You know. So anyway, so I really want you to focus on doing some meditation this week. I think it'll be really good for you, especially if stress and anxiety is a big factor in your life. And from the point of view of just wanting to stay healthy for as long as you can and stay motivated and live a really good and peaceful life, I think you owe it to yourself to really learn how to control your stress and your anxiety. And through controlling your stress and anxiety, you can learn to control your thoughts and feelings and your actions, and then align them so you can create that inspired action. So you can do some really good things in the world and achieve some really great outcomes for yourself. So anyways, hey, I do want to make a quick mention. I have a new book coming out July 20th. It's called The Game of Serendipity. It really goes into the 12 universal laws, which the video just before this, which I'll also link to in the description, is all about the 12 universal laws. It's about a 20-minute video. It dives into what universal laws are and how we can use them. But my book goes into much greater depth and is going to be a really good read. So I'm really excited about that book coming out. Also, if you haven't gotten my book yet, my True Serendipity, which is my last book from 2016, which dives into success and how to command success from ourselves. That's available on Amazon right now for $3.99. So go check that out. It's a quick read. A lot of good information in it. Check that out. If you can, please subscribe if you like this video. If give me a thumbs up, and then click the bell and subscribe so you can get future videos as I release them. Anyways, have a great day. Enjoy your week. It's gonna be a good week. I got a good feeling for you. So I'll see you in the next video.